First, media. Now, media is plural for the word medium, not as in small, medium, large, but media as in something used to communicate, a way that a message gets to us. Media has a long history and has changed through different civilizations in different ways. Different forms of media include books, films, songs, TV shows, pamphlets, billboards, memes, video games, construction signs, clothes with messages. If it's communicating a message, then technically it's media. You're engaging with media right now. So let's say we take this M and throw this word in front of it, the media. In our culture, we use the media to describe popular vehicles for information and entertainment, or what we call mass media through mass communication. So if media could mean standing on the box in your city with a bullhorn, mass media is the bullhorn that's heard around the world. And for the most part, they hold some level of brand recognition in the culture. You know them, right? Most of what is considered the media is relatively new. In fact, with the exception of print media, most of them and their respective industries were established in the last century. This means you could or may already have met someone who remembers life before a major form of everyday media even existed. And yes, life did exist before the media. To put it in perspective, print media, books, pamphlets, newspapers, magazines, began to get mass-produced with the printing press around late 1400s. But audio sound recordings don't get invented until about 400 years after that. Cinema happens right around 1900. Radio stations get established a couple decades after that. And by then, Hollywood had become the 5th largest industry in America. It's not until the 1950s that television gets created, which then starts to replace the radio, which had been the way to hear music, stories, sports, news, advertisements, and political propaganda in the majority of American homes. Television and its industry became the primary medium to influence popular opinion. Some people born at this time actually get labeled as a television generation, the first ones who had this form of media influence how they saw the world. Fast forwarding a few decades, by 1990, the use of household personal computers introduced what we know today as email and the internet. And while mobile phones have been in existence since the early 80s, the shift to this technology accessing the web occurred around 2007. Today, these 7 forms of mass media are the industries which make up the media. While we have a seamlessly endless list of brands and platforms in which we receive messages, 90% of the content and distribution in the media industries is controlled by very few, very big companies. At the time of this class's creation, there are only 6. Now, over time, this list gets remixed. Companies merge, names change, companies acquire other companies. So this really isn't about who the companies are, or that now, technically, other types of companies are also creating media content. What it is about is that there's just over a handful of them.